Hey guys, making another Oldsmobile video. Not really surprising. Kind of surprising to me though, because I guess I was naive enough to think that after I carb swapped this, distributor swapped it, and all that stuff, I would be done with videos on it. But turns out that's not true. I can only be so lucky, right? Anyway, what I've got going on now is once it starts, it runs great. It runs like a fuel injected car. It's not bogging, it's not hesitating, it's not cutting out. It's perfect. But starting on the other hand is a problem. When it's cold, it will take 10 plus seconds of cranking plus 6 or 7 pumps of the gas, which is ridiculous. I have the carb set up probably not correctly, but good enough that it runs fine once it's running, so it can't be that bad, right? The choke is not doing anything. I had it adjusted way too high, and it would never kick off because of the temperature that it is right now outside. So I can't set the choke correctly because the way that you're supposed to do it, or the way that I've been taught how to do it, is that you turn, the dial on the choke. You turn it so that it barely touches the, when you turn it, that little hook on the coil pulls back your high idle cam, so it rests on the first cam at 60 degrees ambient temperature. That's the way I've been told to do it. It's like 90 degrees out right now, so it's not gonna rest on, if you set it like that, to rest on the first idle cam at 90 degrees. That means when it's 90 degrees outside, it's gonna be on high idle, which it doesn't need to be. High idle is really only needs to be a thing when you need to choke the cold air coming into the engine, and when it's 90 degrees outside, there's no cold air coming into the engine. So I haven't set up a choke at all. It's just sitting there, and of course that's causing hard starting issues, so I know that's a problem, and I've got a line on that. I'm going to take it somewhere and they're going to fix it for me for free, so no big deal on that. But the other issue I'm having, the more pressing issue, is that start it up and it's cold, whatever, it takes some extra gas, it takes, starting fluid, whatever, it takes some time. Once it's running, it runs fine. You drive it for 10 minutes, get it to operating temp, shut it off, it will not start again. And the reason for that is it cranks very slow when you're trying to start it again when it's hot. And there's like a number of things that could cause this that are pretty common. One of them is heat soak. That's a number one hard start issue for GM cars for whatever reason. Doesn't happen on Fords, doesn't happen on Chryslers. Chevy and other GM products are the only ones that do it. I don't know. You'd think they would have figured it out after how many years of it happening, but they still haven't figured it out. Where your starter gets hot, and for whatever reason, starters are a lot weaker when they're hot. So starter gets hot and it cranks really slow, or sometimes not at all, until the engine cools down again, and then you can start it up just fine like you would normally. That seems to be what's happening with mine, but it's got the heat shield on it, and this has never been a problem before. The whole year that I've owned this car, it's never done that before, so I know that that's not the issue. I thought maybe my starter got worn out again because of how much I cranked out over the wintertime. I'm trying to get it to start with that shitty carburetor on there. So I took it back into the rebuild place not far from here and got the starter rebuilt. He tested it, said it was good. I put it on my car, test drove it, and it still does the same thing. So now I'm on to a more rare occurrence, but one that kind of makes sense. My timing is off. My ignition timing is too advanced, but it's not too advanced that it's noticeable. It's only too advanced to the point where the car has a hard time starting when it's hot. So I don't know all the science behind this, so don't even ask me, but I've been told that when your ignition timing is too high, it causes more resistance in the engine when you're trying to crank it over. And when the engine is hot, the starter is weaker, so its starter's already weak because of the hot engine temperature. You're trying to crank it over on a weak starter with higher compression for whatever reason, and it won't do it. So when I drive this car, I drive for 10 minutes to the next town over and back, turn it off, wait a minute, turn it back on, and it cranks like the battery's dead. Battery's new, battery cable tested good, starter's rebuilt, and the alternator is charging. So my charging system is good, my battery system is good. it's got to be something with the timing. And normally I wouldn't think it would be anything to do with that, but considering I just put that distributor in and I never had this issue before now, I'm going to go with my timing's off. So people who know more than me about that, let me know what you think, I guess, if you ever see this video, because I would really like to know how common that actually is, because it seems on the forums that it's a fairly common occurrence where your timing being too advanced won't allow you to hot start the car. So that's what I've been dealing with. That's the current project on the olds. Not sure how I'm going to deal with this one, because let me tell you something, distributor work is about the bane of my existence. I hate doing distributor stuff, timing stuff. It's too fussy for me, it's too finicky. You have to have a good set of eyes, and I don't. So you just, whatever. But I am a little, I'm a little annoyed with this, but also a little excited that the car, once you're driving it, to drive so nice. I might finally be getting close to having a daily driver here. So, see you in the next update.